it's Colleen Gallagher here, and I'm super excited to be coming to you live. But if you've never met me, obviously my name is Colleen, and if you see my name, you see my branding anywhere on the internet, this is the storefront of my business. It's really amazing. I've created an online education and coaching business all by using technology and social media and going live, writing content, building a connection and experience with each of you. So I hope if it's your first time here, you say hello, leave a comment, let me know where you're tuning in from. I always come back and write back to you and engage with you. And if you're returning, obviously, oh, hey, I hope you'd say hello and, let me know that you're here. So anyway, I want to get into something today because if you guys didn't see, I got a 4.0 in my PhD semester, as well as in the first 4 months of this 2022 year. I've already exceeded the amount of money that I made all of 2021. So that is so exciting to me that we're not even halfway through the year and I've exceeded what I made the whole year previously in my business. And the fact that it's like 4.0, that I just had an amazing speaking event at Education 2.0 where I won an award, an outstanding leadership award. My podcast is going great. If you haven't listened to our podcast, the Colleen Gallagher podcast, make sure to download it or subscribe on Spotify, Stitcher, Podfaster, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. It's on like every single platform you could imagine. And get involved in the community, get involved in what I'm talking about, get involved in the way that I communicate, the way that I express, and the way that you can begin to feel at peace with knowing that there's more people like you in this world. And so before I get into how I do this all, like how do I run a business? How do I have team members? How am I doing my schooling? How am I writing books? How am I building products? How am I leading educational experiences through people in the online world? And my clients are receiving transformations. My clients are starting businesses. My clients are starting podcasts. Like, how am I doing this, right? So before I get into that, I just want to share, we do have a special sale that's going on until tomorrow. I have a mindset audio and meditation. And this mindset audio is called Shift to the Limitless. It's called how to get you into a limitless state, into a limitless way of being, into a limitless way of thinking, into a state where anything and everything is possible. And so it's $1. Usually this is $22. So you're going to want to go click it, get it. We've had quite a few of you who are brand new be able to get this. If you've been watching me and you've been wanting to know my work a little bit more, you've been wanting to understand what I'm like behind the scenes of when people pay me, you've been wanting to understand a little bit of my way of how I've created this mini online empire in 4 years. Like, it's insane to me that we have a podcast, we have products, we have online courses, we have self-study courses, live courses, we have retreats, we have so many things that you can be involved in. How do I do this? And how do I run it? And how do you see 60,000 people here, almost 600 people on my brand new Instagram, 2,000 people on over 2,000 people on Instagram, 4,000 people between both of my personal Facebooks, on all of my blogging sites, it's another few hundred people. How do I do this? And then the podcast is, thousands of people. How do I cultivate this audience in a way and this community? And how can you do that? How can you tap into that? And how can you get over the limiting beliefs that are stopping you from becoming who you're meant to become? This is the audio for you. It's like I said, $1. You have it for lifetime access. It's forever. So there's no reason not to get it. Okay, so with that, how do I do this? I wanted to dive into this today because I feel like it's an important conversation that I want to have, because it's easy to look at me and think like, it is so easy for her to be this beautiful being and go out to dinner and look nice and have fashion and be smart and da-da-da-da-da and all these things, right? But I want to tell you, it's funny, I was applying for something today that I'm doing for academia, and it said, tell me your story. And I always feel like that's so interesting. I'm like, tell me your story, because I had cancer at age 14. But this was a little bit different because it was having me realize the moment that I realized education was important. And I want to share this because Elena Cardone actually shared something that really changed my life. And she said, what if you have the wrong information? And that wrong information is creating a deformation in your brain, meaning that you are getting information that is creating neurological pathways in your brain that's causing you to act out in ways or create habitual habits in your life that are not going to get you the results you want to get. So if you have the wrong information, you have a deformation in your brain that's causing you to take actions that's not getting where you want to go. And I realized that I had a deformation in my brain until I was 23 years old, when I chose to leave my corporate job where I was making a $64,000 salary. I had a company car. I was receiving all these commission checks, and I still wasn't happy. I just knew there was more to this life. I knew that I wanted to travel the world. I knew that I wanted freedom. I knew that I wanted to be speaking on stages. I knew that I wanted to be having deep conversations of transformation with people. Like when no one was around and I would meet random strangers, somehow we would always get into this profound, deep, meaningful conversation. And I was wondering how I could build a life around that, because that's what fulfilled me. It gave me so much life to connect with people and to hear them go through what they were going through and become who they wanted to become. So anyway, the moment that I realized that I had this happen is I was in New Zealand, and I picked up my first book, my first real book that I read. And the book that I read was called The Code to an Extraordinary Mind by Vishen, who's from Mind Valley. And this is the first time I'd ever heard about the subconscious mind. And I learned that the subconscious mind controls 85% of our actions, our thoughts, our behaviors. 85%. And I started to have this awareness of how much of my life was being controlled by things in darkness, by things in shadows, by unawarenesses. How much of my life was being controlled in this way? How much of my life was being acted out in this way? And I started to realize that our life, everything that's around us, is from patterns that we knew. And so the jobs that I had, the friendships that I had, the way that I was acting in relationships, right, is like I was acting out a pattern. And so from that, I began to really get involved in education and self-education, I should say, where I began to follow people's lives on social media that were living the life that I wanted to have. I wasn't following teachers. I wasn't listening to academic. I wasn't listening to like what mainstream news or media was saying. I started to follow people that I looked at their life. I enjoyed what they were talking about. I consumed their whole mind. Like I consumed what they put out into the world. Literally free YouTube videos, ebooks. I remember I think I used audiobook because I was so broke at the time. Like not broke, but I mean, I was making 64,000 New Zealand dollar, but I was investing all that money into education, and I was so broke, like I didn't literally have money to do things that I wanted to do. So I would use different emails, like 5 or 6 different emails. I'd create a new Gmail email, go on audiobook, and sign up on Amazon for a new audiobook that was free because you get your free Audible or like Kindle free. I would do this like 5 or 6 emails in a row to get it for free, so I could like literally listen or read whatever someone wrote, because that's how badly I wanted to learn something new. I wanted to create a new neurological pathway. And my life began to start to change because I got around people who were living a life that was traveling the world, leading organizations, building businesses. And then ironically, which is really funny, it's funny because I'm really coming to peace with this relationship. It's taken me a long time, but there was a guy that I dated who ran, successful, I wouldn't say businesses, like organizations. Like at the time, I feel like he was seeding me with things that I never was going to fully get until much later. And now I'm having these epiphanies. The ending of that relationship is not ideal, or is not something I wish it could have been a different way, but it doesn't take away from the things that he gave into my life. And so I began to realize these different things of how you had to think differently and train your mind to respond if you wanted to get different results. So how am I able to have a 4.0 PhD semester? How has my business already this year done more than, I think it's like $238,000. I think that was the exact number in cash this year, which was all of what I had last year, as well as new clients, as well as new speaking events, as well as awards, as well as my podcast going all out, like new messages, new connections. Like, how is that happening? And it's because I trained my mind to think differently. I trained my mind to respond differently. I began to really hone into the fact that the way that we think, so if you are like, my life sucks, people suck, this is sucking, my manager sucks, da da da, you're only going to create more of that evidence. If you're like, wow, my life is amazing, then right relationships are dropping in, the right people are dropping in, the right things are aligning, the right whatever. Like if you begin to think this way, right, and actually speak life into this, even if it's not here yet, like, right, like when I didn't have six figures, and trust me, when I didn't have money that was like, I don't know, anywhere. Like I remember thinking like $10,000 a month was so much money. Who would make $10,000 a month? Like I remember like probably $5,000 a month was so much money. Every paycheck for me was like, I don't know, maybe 1,800 paycheck after taxes, maybe a little bit more, 2,300. I don't know, whatever it was. And I had a beautiful two bedroom at both places, and I shared it with a roommate. But I remember, right, that I remember that I would be so anxious in a way. Like I would be thinking like, God, how is this money gonna land? Instead of thinking like, of course this money is gonna happen. Of course this money is gonna land. Of course soulmate clients are gonna find me. Of course people reach out to me and they want to enroll in my things. Of course, of course, of course. And I started to speak life into what I wanted. I started to go, of course, there's always more than enough money in the accounts. Of course that I have the most amazing employees. Of course that I have the best things happening in the whole world. Like I literally started to speak life into my existence this way. And so what I want to share, what I want to offer, what I want to bring to you is that, hey, James, what I want to bring to you, which I think is really, really important, is that you can do it all. There's either a point where you're going to make excuses for why things aren't happening in your life, or there's going to be a reason of why you make things happen, right? And I want this to be the thing of why you make things happen. I never have once sat there and be like, oh, this is so much with the PhD and the clients and the creation and this. I went, how can I give my life to something greater than what has given me life? How can I give my life to something that will make me feel so happy and so fulfilled? And whatever pattern that I was living, right, when I was living in a corporate job, that patterning, it was painful, but I had to realize I was creating a narrative that I needed that money to have or to have safety or security, instead of going, you know what if I actually believed that I could do this on my own? What if I actually believed I could quit my job, even if I go into debt, even if I take out a loan, and I can do this freaking thing? And when I started to speak life into my life like this, instead of thinking that I had to stay in this job to make money so that I have enough savings to go do this, I began to be more comfortable with risk, and I began to say, you know what, this just is going to work out for me. And the more, wherever you are in this point in your journey of looking at my life and you're seeing like, she has it all, it's perfect, it's this. And I do have everything. I feel like I have everything that I could desire. I have an amazing lifestyle. I live in a beautiful home in the Hollywood Hills. I have an amazing business. I have amazing soulmate clients who literally are, James has an amazing podcast. He's one of my clients, the Jimmy Daytona Show. Go subscribe if you haven't. I have clients who are already in podcasting. I have clients who are coaches. I have clients who are building courses. I have clients who are profound healers. I have academics. Like I have so many people that are so creative and so tapped in that are wanting to bring their messaging and bring what's healed them into this world. And so how do I do it all? It's not like the matter of how, it's just I get up and I'm so excited. And even the days that I feel like I don't want to do it, like this live video, I was like, oh, I don't want to do it. My hair is like a mess, or I had this whole thing. I could just skip it. But no, I want to be present here. I want to give this video because it's like I'm celebrating. You're seeing me celebrating like the largest contract I've got, which was $72,000. You're seeing me celebrate speaking events. You're seeing me celebrate awards. You're seeing me celebrate 4.0. You're seeing my clients celebrate things. Like you're seeing all these things, and I would feel like it would be so overwhelming to watch me and be like, how does she do it? But I did it because I started to believe in the power of mindset and coaching and education and getting around the right people that were living the life that I wanted, to get the correct information, to retrain the patterns that are going out inside of my mind so that I could take different thoughts, actions, and speak life into my life that I wanted to live, life into the life that I would be proud of. And until you can do that consistently, where you're looking at people, you're listening, you're consuming their mind of their, like, you know, one of my mentors, Yvonne De La Fleur, she's absolutely amazing. If you don't follow her, she's incredible. You know, she has a human empowerment network. She has 2 or 3 podcasts. She has so many online courses. She has courses that other people run for her that she then gets it back in out. She has Sacred Geometry Code. She's a speaker. She's an author of over 27 or 17 books, something insane. Like I look at people like this and I'm like, God, they never ask, how do you do this? They go, this is my idea. I'm going to make it happen. Like David Meltzer's another mentor of mine who I love, right? He's never like, how do I make this happen? There's so many things on my plate. It's like, okay, I've got to add this to my plate. Where do I got to cut something in my calendar? Or where do I add it? Or where do I move something around to make this happen? And you just do the damn thing. And so it's easy to look at my life and say, how is she doing it all? How is she carrying it all? How is she holding it all? But when you are acting with God, when you are acting with the universe, when you are acting with something that is greater than you, a frequency within you, you begin to carry more because things just flow for you. You meet the right people connect with you, like whatever that it is. So I'm trying to feel if there's anything else I wanted to say. How I do it all, which was at this live, is that I shifted my mindset. That's why it's a $1 audio. How to shift your mindset into a limitless state of being. You've got to change the way you're thinking. You've got to change the way you're responding. And the world will not change until you change. It's just the reality of it. A leader, right? A leader doesn't say, this is who I am. Now, all of you align to me, right? That's like military. That's a military, right? A true leader is like, okay, I'm going to become responsible. I'm going to turn inward. I'm going to do whatever it takes to be who I want to be. And when I look inside of me, I'm going to lead myself. And I trust that even when there's no guarantee on the results, that when I make it a high priority for me to become who I want to become, when I choose that, when I make it, when I whatever, that everything is going to align for me and more. And I promise you, that's how you see the mini empire that I've created. So when you see my face online, when you Google my name and all these podcasts I'm on, all of these articles that I'm on, every post that I've written, every video that I've done has so much intentionality, so much heart, so much soul into it that will be good for over a lifetime. I'm 28. Oh my God, it's so inspiring to me. Like, I've led my own life to be so inspired by the woman I've become, the woman I'm always becoming. And I hope that for you. I hope that you can look into your life and say, you know what? I want to be proud of the man or woman that I'm becoming and I'm choosing. And it's never too late. It's never too late to let go of the person you were that didn't make you happy, that didn't make you feel proud of yourself, and for you to then make it happen. Today is always a good day to start. Today's always a good day to take that one action step. Today's always a good day to say, you know what? Let me for $1 enroll in this mindset audio. It's digital. Let me start there. You know what? Let me get around Colleen and her free podcast. Let me get in one of her lower end courses. Let me get in the energy of someone who's living the life that I want to have, who's fulfilled, who has amazing relationships. Let me do that. And you'll be shocked that when you get in the proximity of people, which is what social media does, it's what the digital world does, it allows you to get access to people so close that you would never have had access to, so that you can become who you always wanted to be. And so with that, I love you. It would mean the world to me if you could share this, if you could tag somebody. And I hope to see you in my mindset audio or in a future course that is coming up. Thank you for choosing to be here, for choosing to love yourself enough to know you deserve a better life, and for everything that is yet to unfold. I'm excited to be a witness in your journey. I love you.